Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Military Forces Unleashed. Today we're diving into the enigmatic world of the Udaloy-Class destroyer, a cornerstone of the Russian Navy. This vessel, which has been cruising the world's oceans since the Cold War, combines impressive firepower with some serious design quirks. Get ready to uncover the highs and lows of this naval behemoth. The birth of the Udaloy-Class destroyer is a tale set against the tense backdrop of the late 1970s, when the Cold War was anything but cold. The Soviet Union, locked in a perpetual staring contest with NATO, realized they needed a new toy, one that could outmaneuver, outgun, and outthink the West's growing naval capabilities, especially in the underappreciated yet crucial realm of anti-submarine warfare. Enter the Severnoye Design Bureau, the Soviet Union's go-to team for conjuring up warships that could make a statement on the high seas. Their task? To create a destroyer that could not only hunt submarines with the precision of a shark, but also survive the kind of naval battles that were being imagined in the war rooms of Moscow and Washington. The result was the Udaloy, a ship that would become a symbol of Soviet ambition and a thorn in the side of Western naval strategists. The Udaloy first dipped its hull into the water in 1980, a year when tensions were high and so were the stakes. Its name, Udaloy, translates to daring in Russian, which was fitting, given that designing a ship with such specific high-stakes missions was a bold move. But the Soviets were never known for playing it safe, and the Udaloy-Class was designed to be a daring response to the West's increasingly sophisticated submarine fleets. This wasn't just another destroyer, it was a statement of intent, a floating message that the Soviet Union was still in the game and playing to win. But, as with many Soviet designs, the Udaloy's birth was not without its complications. Budget constraints, shifting political priorities, and the ever-present specter of technological limitations meant that what rolled off the production lines wasn't always what the designers had envisioned. Still, the Udaloy was born, and it wasn't long before it made its presence felt on the global stage, serving as a key asset in the Soviet and later Russian Navy's efforts to maintain its relevance in a rapidly changing world. The Udaloy-Class destroyer is a quintessential example of Soviet engineering, where practicality often meets brute force head-on. Stretching 163 meters in length with a beam of 19 meters, it cuts an imposing figure on the water, designed to command attention and respect. The ship's hull is a mix of utilitarian function and a bit of Soviet swagger, with a bulbous bow and flared stern that are not just for show. These features actually play a critical role in improving seakeeping and stability, which is no small feat when you're navigating the unpredictable waters of the North Atlantic. The superstructure, a towering collection of radar and electronic warfare equipment, gives the Udaloy a somewhat high-tech profile, at least for the 1980s. It's the kind of ship that looks like it means business, bristling with antennas, domes, and sensors, all intended to give it an edge in detecting and tracking potential threats. The Udaloy's design suggests a ship that was built to be at the center of the action, serving as both hunter and hunted in the cat-and-mouse game of naval warfare. But as with many things that come out of Soviet design bureaus, the Udaloy's strengths come with a few trade-offs. For one, that large, radar-laden superstructure, while intimidating, also makes the ship a much bigger target for enemy radar. It's a bit like wearing a neon sign that says, "Here I am, come and get me." And then there's the issue of aging technology. The Udaloy was cutting-edge 40 years ago. Today, many of its systems are showing their age, struggling to keep pace with the rapid advancements in naval technology that have emerged since its launch. Despite its size and formidable presence, the Udaloy isn't immune to the passage of time. Its designers probably didn't foresee the day when the ship would be more of a Cold War relic than a modern-day marvel, but that day has come. The ship's design, once considered a masterpiece of Soviet ingenuity, now faces the harsh reality of obsolescence, a reminder that even the most daring designs have their expiration dates. When it comes to firepower, the Udaloy-Class destroyer doesn't pull any punches. This ship is loaded with enough weaponry to make any adversary think twice. Up front, you've got the 8 SSN-14 Silex anti-submarine missiles, a Cold War-era weapon designed to hunt down submarines like a wolf stalking its prey. These missiles were the pride of Soviet naval engineers, capable of delivering a torpedo or a nuclear depth charge to targets hiding in the deep. But while these weapons were cutting edge in the 1980s, they're starting to show their age, especially in a world where missile technology has leaped forward. Flanking the ship are two AK-100 100mm dual-purpose guns, versatile enough to engage both surface and air targets. These guns might not have the flash of more modern naval artillery, but they get the job done, firing at a rate of up to 60 rounds per minute. They're reliable, robust, and a reminder of the Soviet approach to naval warfare. When in doubt, build it bigger and tougher. But again, these guns are a product of their time, and while they're still deadly, they're not exactly keeping up with the sleek, computerized weapon systems found on Western warships. Then there's the anti-aircraft and anti-submarine arsenal, which includes the RBU-6000 anti-submarine rocket launchers. These things look like they belong in a sci-fi movie, a cluster of tubes ready to unleash a barrage of rockets at anything lurking beneath the waves. The RBU-6000 was designed to saturate an area with explosives, effectively turning a patch of ocean into a no-go zone for enemy submarines. But here's the catch. Like the rest of the Udaloy's arsenal, these systems haven't exactly kept pace with modern technology. In a naval world that's increasingly dominated by advanced missile systems and electronic warfare, the Udaloy's weapons are starting to feel a bit like yesterday's news. The Udaloy-Class destroyer's armament is a testament to a different era of naval warfare, one where brute force and overwhelming firepower were the answers to every question. But as technology advances, the ship's once mighty arsenal is beginning to look like a relic, a reminder that even the most formidable weapons can be outpaced by the relentless march of time. The Udaloy-Class destroyer is a powerhouse on the water, driven by a hybrid propulsion system that's as complex as it is effective. At its heart are two M9D gas turbines which provide the raw speed necessary for high-stakes naval engagements. These turbines, each cranking out an impressive amount of power, push the ship to a top speed of 35 knots, fast enough to keep up with just about anything in the water. When the situation demands it, the Udaloy can kick into high gear, turning what's already a formidable warship into a blur on the horizon. Complementing the gas turbines are two M62 diesel engines, each delivering 68,000 horsepower. These diesel engines are the workhorses of the Udaloy, providing the endurance needed for long-range missions. Whether patrolling the Arctic seas or shadowing a foreign fleet, the combination of gas turbines and diesel engines ensures the Udaloy can stay on station for extended periods without sacrificing speed or range. It's a dual system that reflects the Soviet Navy's approach to warfare, versatility and reliability, even in the most demanding conditions. In essence, the Udaloy-Class destroyer's power and propulsion systems are a double-edged sword. On one hand, they provide the speed and endurance needed for a range of naval operations. On the other, they come with a built-in handicap that limits the ship's effectiveness in its primary mission. It's a classic case of Soviet engineering. Build something powerful and hope the sheer force of it will outweigh any drawbacks. In the Udaloy's case, that gamble hasn't always paid off. The Udaloy-Class destroyer has been a key player in Russian naval operations, patrolling critical regions like the Arctic and the Mediterranean. These ships have participated in high-profile naval exercises, showcased Russian naval power, and taken part in anti-piracy missions off the coast of Somalia. Their presence in international waters serves as a reminder of Russia's global reach, even as these vessels start to show signs of age. However, the years are catching up with the Udaloy-Class. Frequent maintenance issues and the complexity of their propulsion systems highlight the challenges of keeping these Cold War-era ships operational. While some have been retired or upgraded, the Udaloy-Class is increasingly outmatched by modern naval technology, signaling that their era of dominance may be nearing its end. The Udaloy-Class destroyer, once a cutting-edge marvel, now grapples with its fair share of issues. Its technology, once the pinnacle of Soviet naval engineering, is now seriously outdated. The ship's electronics and weapon systems, which once gave it an edge, are now barely keeping pace with modern advancements. This technological lag is not just a minor inconvenience. It means the Udaloy-Class is increasingly vulnerable to contemporary threats that its systems were never designed to counter. To add to its woes, the Udaloy-Class's propulsion system is a noisy beast, compromising its effectiveness in stealth operations. This noise issue makes it less suitable for the delicate task of anti-submarine warfare, where quiet is king. The cost of upgrading and maintaining these aging destroyers is becoming a burden for the Russian Navy, leading to tough decisions about whether to invest in their modernization or push them towards retirement. Despite the Udaloy-Class destroyer's numerous shortcomings, it stands as a potent symbol of Russian naval power. Designed during the height of the Cold War, the Udaloy-Class marked a significant advance in Soviet naval engineering. With its imposing presence and formidable arsenal, it was intended to demonstrate the USSR's capability to challenge Western naval forces and exert influence across the globe. Even as its technology becomes increasingly outdated, the Udaloy-Class remains a cornerstone of Russia's blue water navy. Its continued deployment in international waters serves as a clear signal of Russia's maritime ambitions and its determination to maintain a significant naval footprint. Each appearance of the Udaloy-Class in global waters is a reminder of Russia's enduring maritime capabilities and its readiness to project power far from its shores. In the grand scheme of naval power, the Udaloy-Class embodies the persistence of Russian military tradition. Despite its age and technological limitations, it continues to be a key player in the Russian Navy's efforts to showcase its strength and strategic reach. The ship's ongoing service is a testament to the enduring legacy of Soviet engineering and Russia's commitment to maintaining a robust naval presence on the world stage. That's all for today's deep dive into the Udaloy-Class destroyer. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Military Forces Unleashed and hit that like button. Stay tuned for more in-depth looks at military hardware from around the world. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon and your curiosity at the ready.